Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to another weekly trading review. This week has been one of my worst weeks so far this year. I'm gonna talk about it, learn from it, and share my lessons with you guys. So enjoy the video, man. Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to another weekly trading review. This week was one of my worst weeks so far this year. I'm gonna talk about it. I've made this week review, and we're gonna talk about it. So, yeah, this week was one of my worst weeks so far this year. So, yeah, I'm down 2.9% or 932 kroner. 5 trading days. I had only 3 trades taken. Win rate is 0% and rule adherence is 2.5. No, 2 out of 5, which is bad. This needs to be at a 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 at least. Emotional control average was a 8.2 out of 10. Daily performance rating was at 7.7 out of 10. So this week represents a step back in execution discipline despite emotional control remaining relatively stable. Last week showed a clear transition into structured, disciplined execution with minimal emotional interference. This week shows a partial regression. There's reappearances of B-tier participation, increased decision inconsistency under pressure, and slight return of reactive trading behavior. However, one important stability remains. I had no revenge trading, no emotional spirals, and no destructive overtrading. That means that the psychological foundation is still intact, which is a good thing. But the key shift this week was from consistent execution discipline into selective discipline breakdowns under pressure. The capital result was negative 2.9%, is worse than last week. But more importantly, the losses were partially avoidable. This is now a discipline issue, not a market outcome issue. So, what did I do well this week? Number one, I maintained emotional control despite frustration triggers. So, this week included a high emotional stress event. I missed a trade on UCAR that made a 5.5% move. My order got rejected. This would have put me up for the month. And historically, this type of situation could trigger revenge trading, overtrading, and emotional decision making. But instead, I closed the computer, I didn't chase, and I avoided escalation. This is professional level damage control. Even though my internal reaction was strong with anger, frustration, victim mindset, my external behavior remained controlled. That distinction is critical. So, number two, I had strong patience on non opportunity days. On days 3 and 4 and 5 were all correct no trade days, high discipline, and emotionally stable. Especially notable was I skipped multiple bad setups on Thursday. I anticipated weak Friday conditions, and this confirms that my baseline behavior is still patience, not compulsion. Number three, awareness quality is increasing. A strong improvement visible this week. I am increasingly able to identify mistakes in real time or immediately after. For example, I recognized errors as a reactive and unreliable. I identified LNAI as the wrong stock selection. I acknowledged B tier participation clearly. This shows my market reading and self diagnosis are ahead of my execution discipline. Same pattern as last week, but now more confirmed. So, now what went wrong this week? What made this week so bad for me? So, number one, reintroduction of B tier participation. This is my primary issue. This is the core problem of the week. Occurrences was on airs on day 1 or Monday, clearly identified as B tier setup, and on LNAI on Tuesday was poor selection and low quality setup. So I have this airs trade here. This was the setup I took on airs. This is a bad trade. This is not even a B tier, almost a C tier setup. So I see it goes above pre-market high, and I like this. but it doesn't really find support. It's finding more resistance on pre-market high, and I mistaked the resistance as uh, support, and I said, oh yeah, it's support, and this is finding clear resistance onto this, and it just creates a bear flag and not a bull flag. So yeah, that's a really bad one. And on LNAI was on Tuesday, which I can find over here. If we just go back a few days, here we go. And now this is also a bad setup. Not the worst setup, but I do not like this. Finding clear resistance over here at 7.4, huge top wick. Didn't really make a good move, and it's a bear flag at this point. So yeah, that was both the trades from there. So key observation, in both cases, I knew the setup quality was not optimal before entry. This confirms this is not a knowledge problem. This is a discipline enforcement failure. The execution pattern was recognition into doubt into participation anyway. This is exactly the gap identified last week. Now it is confirmed as my main leak. This is my main problem. Number two, stock selection errors under pressure. On day two or Tuesday, exposed a more specific tactical weakness. I entered on LNAI instead of UCAR. I traded while multiple stocks were moving simultaneously. This indicates slight rushing behavior and reduced selectivity under time pressure. And if I can find this, UCAR, this moved at the same time as LNAI on this day right here. And this was the trade I missed out on. This was a really, really, really good trade I missed out on because I entered off LNAI instead. And yeah, it's not the best. So this indicates slight rushing behavior and reduced selectivity under time pressure. So professional standard, where multiple opportunities appear, the best setup must be selected, not just a valid one. Number three, I had a premature exit on a valid A plus setup on HCWB. This is a more advanced refinement issue. I exited early due to perceived resistance and lack of confidence in continuation. The outcome of that trade was that it later hit my TP. So, important distinction. This was not emotional panic, but an analytical uncertainty. This aligns with my ongoing development area, reading structure during trade versus trusting initial plan. Yeah, so this is kind of like a daily breakdown. On Monday, outcome was down 2%. Behavior quality was average. Notes B tier trade plus A plus trade, mixed discipline. Uh, on Tuesday, I was down 0.9%. Behavior quality was below average, poor stock selection, and avoidable loss. And then I actually missed out on that trade that would put me up for the month. Then had 3 no trade days that was excellent and very good. So, emerging pattern. Comparing last week to this week, so last week my discipline was improving. I had clean executions and minimal mistakes. This week, my discipline was inconsistent. I uh, participated in B tier trades, and decision quality was fluctuating. However, emotional control was stable, revenge behavior was eliminated, and patience was still strong. So my current structure is that market reading is improving, emotional stability is strong, patience is strong, and execution discipline is inconsistent. This is my current bottleneck. So, and my setup filtering is not fully enforced. So, key observation: my development has reached a very clear stage. I already know what the correct decision is, but I'm not consistently executing it. The evidence is that I identified bad setups before entering, I recognized correct setups when they appear, I executed incorrectly anyway in certain moments. So this is critical. I'm no longer learning what works, I'm now training automatic discipline enforcement. So my conclusion is that this week was a discipline regression week, not a psychological breakdown week. Outcomes for this week was negative 2.9%, 3 losses partially avoidable, 2 clear rule violations on B tier participation, 3 high quality no trade days, and 1 missed A plus trade with the external factor. The order got rejected if you watched that video. So most important, no revenge trading, no emotional spirals, and strong patience maintained. Interpretation, my foundation is stable, but my execution layer is not yet automated. So my focus for next week is number 1, absolute enforcement of A plus only rule. So this is now non-negotiable. My refined rule is if there is any hesitation about quality, it's not A plus. My execution rule is no exceptions, no maybe trades, and no participation for activity. Number 2, slow down decision making under pressure. My new tactical rule: when multiple stocks move, step back, wait 30 to 60 seconds, let the best setup become obvious. I do not need to be first, I need to be right. So I need to be more slow in my decision making. Like, if I just see like a setup appearing, I'm not gonna be like, oh yes, it's A plus setup, I gotta execute now. Like, I don't need to be the first that takes the setup. I just need to be right. So, number 3, trust initial trade plan on A plus setups. For valid trades, I need to avoid micromanaging based on short-term structure. I need to let take profit and stop loss play out unless clear structural invalidation. I'm currently slightly over interpreting noise during trades. So, yeah. Number 4, continue protecting psychological capital. My strongest asset right now is emotional stability and avoid to stop trading. I need to protect this at all costs. So my action plan is number 1, A plus setups only. I've said this so many times, so many times. A plus setups only. No B tier participation, 0 tolerance, 1 clear best stock per session, 4 set and leave trades unless clear invalidation. So tactical adjustments. Before session, I need to define A plus criteria clearly, except that most days are no trade days. During session, if I'm unsure, then don't take a trade. If it's multiple stocks, I need to fix this. Multiple stocks, I wait. After entry, no interference without clear structural break. So, my summary to carry forward: my strengths is emotional control remains strong, revenge trading is eliminated, patience is elite, market awareness is improving, and self-analysis is highly accurate. Weaknesses is B tier participation reappearing, stock selection under pressure, slight early exit tendency on A plus setups. My core issue now is discipline execution, not knowledge. I'm at a stage where leaks, small discipline leaks create all losses. Final perspective: trajectory is still positive, but progression now depends on one thing: turning correct decisions into automatic behavior. If I fix B tier participation, it will likely go from negative 2.9% to positive week immediately. This is now a precision phase, not a learning phase. So, yeah, that was my weekly review. I'm not in a learning phase, I'm in a precision phase. I need to automate my discipline. And yeah, honestly, this week I have fallen back on some bad habits in outside of the markets and being not as disciplined as I used to outside of the markets, which is also a huge correlation, which I should have put in here, but I'm just saying it now. So I need to be able to fix my discipline outside of the markets as well inside of the markets, which I personally think is one of the biggest problems. So yeah, that was my weekly trading review for this week, one of my worst weeks so far. And yeah, man, but we learned something out of it and we got some good knowledge out of it, so it's good. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace out.